When he wants to bless, he does it by loadful. Because it's unlimited by resources. We are limited by power. When we are talking about power, there's a limit to your power. It doesn't matter who you think you are. Whether you are head of state or the most anointed of all prophets, you are still limited by power. Why? Ecclesiastes chapter 8 verse 8. Ecclesiastes chapter 8 verse 8 says, nobody has power on the day of death. No matter how powerful you are, you cannot tell death, leave me alone, I don't want to go. I mean, you know Elisha. As anointed as he was, when the time came for him to die, he died. There was the anointing in his bones to raise the dead. And nobody has power on the day of death. We are limited when it comes to power. But God is not. Psalm 62 verse 11. Psalm 62 verse 11, he says, God has spoken once. Twice have I heard this. The power belongs to God. He is not limited by power. We are limited in knowledge. You don't know that? Read Job chapter 38. Read from verse 1 to 28. It's very good reading. Might be good that you just take note of that and read it after the sermon. Job 38 from verse 1 to 28. And see if you can answer all the questions there. I mean, for example, consider the question, who is the father of the rain? Who is the mother of the dew? Those are part of the questions there. With all your PhDs, can you answer that? Whereas God is not limited by knowledge. Acts chapter 15 verse 18. Acts 15 verse 18 says, known unto God are all his works from the beginning of the earth. I've told you before, it will take you 1,000 years to learn all there is to know about mathematics. Just one subject. You would need to live for 1,000 years to become a real specialist in mathematics. And yet God knows all the maths, all the physics, all the chemistry, all the biology, all the subjects that are yet to be discovered. He knows them all. It's not limited in knowledge. And of course, because we are limited in knowledge, it follows that we are limited in wisdom. Because wisdom is the correct application of knowledge. As a matter of fact, the Bible puts it this way. In James chapter 1 verse 5, James 1 verse 5, he said, if anybody lack wisdom, let him ask God. You want wisdom? Go and ask God. You can give to you. He said he will give to you liberally. Liberally. Daniel chapter 2 from verse 20 to 22. Daniel 2 from verse 20 to 22. Daniel said, God gives wisdom to the wise. So the little you have, you got it from him. God is not limited. We are. Meaning what? Without him, we are nothing. John 15 from verse 1 to 5. John 15 from verse 1 to 5. Jesus Christ made it clear. He is the vine. We are the branches. The Father is the husbandman. Everything that the branches can ever become depends on the vine. Just as the vine depends on the husbandman. The fluid that is flowing in the branches, they get through the vine. The fruit that they produce, they get through the vine. That's why he said, without me you can do nothing. 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 So as you grow higher, keep that in mind. Without Jesus Christ, you can do nothing. My prayer is that God will use you mightily for his glory. That he will use you to heal the sick, use you to open blind eyes, use you to raise the dead. Use you to make the barren fruitful. Use you to cast mountains into the sea. But don't forget, without him you can do nothing. But God is not limited. Jeremiah 32 verse 27. Jeremiah 32 verse 27. He says, I am the God of all flesh. Is anything too hard for me? So when we link up with this God, who is unlimited, who can do all things, suddenly we discover through him we can also do all things. Philippians 4:13. Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me. In other words, the strength to do all things comes from him, not me. I am limited. If he withdraws the strength, there'll be nothing left. I have told you someone who said, hey, if God should withdraw from me, there'll be very little left. I say, you still have something left? If the Lord withdraws from me, what will I have left? I may consider Pastor Adeboye, for example. If Jesus should withdraw, and God forbid, tell me exactly what will be left. Oh, well, he has picked the mathematics. So go and pick the certificate. And go to them at the University of Lagos and say, well, I'm here. Once a mathematician, forever a mathematician. They will tell me. The students you taught in the 1970s, they have retired as VC. We have no space for you. I pray for every one of you doing mighty things for God. God will not withdraw from you. Amen. Through him we can do all things as long as he is the one supplying the strength.